Hello everyone and welcome to this pick a card reading video. In this video, we will be dissecting what area of life you should be focusing on, and we'll dive deeper into maybe how your life is looking right now. Here is stack 1A, stack 2B, and stack 3C. If you do need more time to pause and figure out which stack you're most drawn to, you certainly can. A little bit more information. There are 3 different oracle cards for each stack, and all of them relate to, well, the first 2 relate to astrology, and the last one relates to a crystal. But they all connect and tie in together. I intuitively chose these oracle decks because I feel they work best for what I'm trying to convey for you all right now. Just a reminder that everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only and nothing is stated as fact. Alright, let's get into the video. Hello stack 1A and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. So, as you see, we have 3 cards here. And the first 2 cards are relating to astrology, and the last one is a crystal card. And this last card, I will read also from the guidebook, but I will get to that later. First, I want to talk about what your reading is about. And there are a couple of things mainly that I picked up on intuitively for what your reading can be about. And let's see here. Let's go over the cards. So the first card chosen is Ceres. I never say anything really right for the astrology stuff. Everybody says it differently. Ceres, I believe, that's how I say it. And the keyword is nurture. And then we have Saturn in the middle. And there are different phrases, and I can read those out. So it says, be realistic about, be concerned about, you must wait before you can. And then on the other side, it says, the maturity that brings, caution regarding, and limits imposed. And then for the crystal card, we have Larimar, which is really weird because I just yesterday bought a Larimar necklace. So I'm feeling very intuitively drawn to Larimar lately. So maybe you have as well. But the keyword is water/ocean throat chakra. So the first thing I want to discuss is that some of you may be thinking a lot about raising a family right now, or maybe you already have children and you're wondering about if you're doing a good job. For those of you though who are thinking about starting to have children, this is confirmation that it is a very good time to start. Ceres is a dwarf planet and is all about motherhood and nurturing and being very kind. Saturn is like the flip side of that. We consider Ceres to be more motherly energy, and then Saturn, is more fatherly energy, but it doesn't have to be specifically gendered. But with Saturn too, it is normally traditionally tied to father figure. And then Larimar, when I skimmed over what it was saying in the Oracle card deck guidebook, and I think it also makes sense as well with what it was saying, at least in the guidebook. Larimar, for me though, is very much connected to ancestors. It's connected to the water in general, and like Atlantis, ancient civilizations. But I think of the times that came way before us, and our ancestors even before they were humans, if you believe in that, like way, way in the beginning of time. So I believe that for many of you, you will be thinking about starting a family, and this is again confirmation that it is a good idea to at least start thinking about it more. With Ceres and Saturn both being here, again, just make sure that, I wonder if some of you are thinking of, some people wouldn't mind raising children alone. I think for you, that wouldn't be the best option based off of what I'm seeing. If you feel you're able to take on all the responsibilities, of course, you know your life better than I do, but I see this being that you should make sure that you have everything planned out beforehand. And I would consider thinking about your partner, and if you already have a partner, or if this partner is already like, a mother or father figure, a parent figure for your children, think about the ways in which they balance out your energies, okay? So again, whether this is somebody you already have in your life or not, think about having a partner that is able to do this, where let's say you are somebody who taps more into that nurturing, kind, patient energy. You should have somebody who, as the other counterpart to you, the other parent figure, they should then tap more into have more of those Saturn qualities, if that makes sense. And vice versa. Maybe you're somebody who has more of those Saturn qualities. Maybe you're really good at laying down the law. Maybe you are really good at planning things out. You're good at discipline. Then you should find somebody, if that's the case, then you should find somebody who is more nurturing and kind. And maybe if you pulled from the stack, this can indicate that you very greatly can tap into both of these energies. Or maybe this is an indication that if you are more one or the other, you should make sure to balance your own energies so that you can, whether you have a partner or not, to help raise a child with, then you can at least know you can rely on yourself to provide not only from these two dualities, but across all qualities that are needed to properly raise a child to the best of your abilities. Okay, and this is interesting. For some of you too, since I pulled Larimar, I wonder if some of you are thinking of moving as well. I think it could be a good idea to move to somewhere that has plenty of water. Like, I live in Minnesota, so I mean, living in Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes, you can easily find somewhere to live along water. Your children might also have plenty of water placements, or they might just be drawn to water themselves. And so that could help them out. So this could be an indication that if you don't have children yet, but if you're wanting to have children, or you're planning, or if you're at the beginning stages of being a parent, then you can try potentially moving somewhere, especially if you already have that inkling of wanting to move. Moving somewhere where there is water, especially since ocean is a keyword here. And Larimar really, amongst all water, it connects the most with ocean. So if you're able to be along a coast, or at least nearby, so you can easily drive or find public transportation to go along a coast, specifically like I'm thinking specifically of America, so you don't have to live in America, anywhere where you're able to access the ocean, I should say, would be best for you and possibly your children as well, if you do plan on having children. I also feel that some of you maybe are struggling with fertility. I feel like that's a little bit less of you, but if you are concerned with any hormonal issues that you have, or let's say even you're asexual, right? Just know that there's different possibilities for you to tap into if that's the case. You know, it doesn't have to be the traditional methods. And also too, for some of you, if you're, what is it called? Like gene selection? Like if some of you are considering or having like a surrogate, this is a good indication of, like, what is it that, like, let's say you're queer, right? Let's say you are a woman or non-binary person and you are with somebody who is the same as that. You could, what is it, when people combine, like, the genetics of both parents, this is a good indication of doing that. That could be a good idea, going more of the scientific route for some of you, like combining the genetics or DNA of both people, or considering both partners. So if that connects with you in any way, then you can take that as well. But I really feel that, make sure that there's a balance and energies of not only mother and father, but of all like different parental duties, that you already have that figured out beforehand. Because with Saturn too, Saturn is the most karmic planet, and so you should be, I'm seeing here, like, be concerned about is what flashed at me. So I think some of you maybe think it'll be like an easy thing to do. Really prepare and make sure that you're ready and have both in yourself and for yourself and your partner, you have everything, all the bases covered. And yes, so if that connects with you, great. I want to move on to another part of this, another message that I received. I think that for many of you who picked this as well, you need to focus on taking care of yourself right now. And also I want to bring up Larimar again with that, because a big way you can take care of yourself, whether you have a lot of water placements or not, Spirit is indicating that water can be very healing for you at this very point in time. So whether that means moving to be closer to the water, or, just taking a bath once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, I think working with water, doing water magic, any of this could be a good idea for you to do. Going anywhere, like going to the beach, going to a pool, healing in water, for some reason, for those of you who this part resonates more with, water will be very healing for you. It could even indicate something like going on a cruise, anything pertaining to water, maybe making more of a ritual out of your showers instead of going blank or thinking of all these anxious worries and thoughts. Maybe you're also more creative in the shower. You come up with better ideas in the shower, so just consider all of that. But for some reason, water will be very healing for you. For some of you too, I will say, some of you need to drink more water, and that will especially help with, that will help with mental and physical health, really, and spiritual. Mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, all of it. So I would, for some of you, consider drinking more water as well, and that will be really healing. And that can also indicate, not going on a detox, but maybe eating and consuming more water-rich foods. That could be very healing for you as well. But in terms of self-care, from what the other cards are saying, I think some of you maybe feel that you're not able to take time to rest or take time for yourself right now. And this is an indication that you should definitely but take time for yourself and spend time alone as well. Especially with Saturn here. Saturn strives on doing things alone and working alone. That doesn't mean you only have to do things alone and work alone. And that doesn't mean you can't reach out for help if you need help with anything. But this is a time where it's a healing time. I think more than some of you realize, because self-care can be a form of healing. And I think that taking some time to be introspective, but also, I'm trying to think. It doesn't even have to be about being introspective. I think it just can be as simple as thinking about what makes you happy and what can help you to de-stress. Think about those things and then start doing them, and then you'll see a major shift in your energy. I think this is a time that isn't high energy right now, and with water and Larimar too, it's more like go with the flow, which is the opposite of what I said before for the people at the beginning of this who are wanting children or who have children right now. But for those of you, it's interesting because I feel like you should go with the flow, but with Saturn here, Saturn usually likes structure, but if you need to focus more on self-care right now, then I feel that you should go with the flow. And then Saturn's part in this is saying, oh wait, what was I just going to say? I just had it. Not go with the flow. Sometimes when I'm going on and on, and I'm like, what? I don't remember what I was going to say. I had it. Larimar is telling you to go with the flow, but Saturn is telling you to, I guess, confront yourself. To be like, okay, get rid of bad habits, or, focus now on doing this thing and just do it. Saturn's like, if you're going to do it, don't just think about it. Actually take action and do it. Don't just sit around. Actually work on yourself. That's what Saturn's saying right now. But don't be mean to yourself, because we have Ceres here especially, which is saying nurture. So do things that nurture you. So it could almost be set up like this. Saturn comes in and is like, hey, you need to focus on yourself right now. And then Larimar comes in and is like, let's go back to Saturn. So Saturn comes in and is like, you need to work on yourself. Think about, and also intuitively feel what is working best for you right now. Larimar is coming in and is like, hey, here's some things that we have as suggestions for you for what you can do to help heal and nurture yourself, especially working with water. And then Ceres is saying along the way, nurture yourself, don't be angry with yourself, and allow yourself to heal right now, or to focus on yourself right now, and don't rush the process. Okay, for some of you too who picked this card, you may feel more drawn to family right now. And I wonder if some of you live far away from family, or if you're thinking of moving away from family, or if family members are moving away or have moved away. This is a good time to visit with them or have them come visit you. If there has been any like moving away of things, or if people just haven't seen each other more, then this is an opportunity right now to visit with family more, to get more connected with them. And also I'm getting a sense of going on vacation could be very healing. Tropical, somewhere near the ocean. That could be very healing as well. But connecting with family more during this time would also be something I suggest for you. It could be very healing for you. Or if you actually have a bad relationship with family, then this is a good time to heal and work on things relating to family ties. And again, a big connection of that is water. So I'm going to go into the guidebook now, and we will read off what it says for Larimar. Let's flip to the page. Okay. So, Larimar, water/ocean, throat chakra. This beautiful Larimar crystal is here to give you a sense of inner peace and tranquility. Feel the relaxing energy surrounding you now. Larimar is connected to the sky and to water and the ocean. A soft, nurturing water element crystal, Larimar encourages you to spend more time near the water. You may like to visit a river, lake, pond, or even the ocean. Any of these will help you reconnect with the water element energy that you need right now. When you go to the water, feel all of your tension and worries being washed away. Breathe in the fresh air. Listen to the sound of the nature surrounding you, the waves of the ocean, a running stream, or the wind rustling the leaves of a nearby tree, or of nearby trees. As you listen to or watch the water flow around you, imagine that all of your worries or concerns are being swept away with the water. You are being encouraged to go with the flow in all areas of your life. Relax and throw all of your expectations and all need for control out the door. Enjoy the freedom of flow and acceptance in your life. And I think all of this really connects with you. And let me know down below. You can comment if you chose Stack 1A and let me know if it resonated with you or not. You can let me know further on in the future if you took the advice of anything that I said in here, or if you considered what I said for you for the messages. But that is all that I have for you today. If you'd like, you can check out my website, BrittneySolistichealing.com. I offer Reiki, Astrology, and Tarot services, amongst other services. Also, you can check out my socials. So you can check out, it's pretty much at Brittney Solistic Healing across everything. And make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all of that. I was going to say all of the shenanigans, but I'm like, all of that. But all those shenanigans, you can do all that. It really helps my channel out a lot. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this video, and take care. Hello, Stack 2B, and welcome to your portion of the Pick a Card reading video. So, as I said in the intro, the first two cards relate to astrology, and the last card is a crystal oracle card, and I will read from the guidebook later on towards the end of this reading for you. But first, I want to state what each card says. So, if you're looking closely, the first card from the first deck I pulled is 6th house. And that is also what I pulled from a completely different stack, or from a completely different oracle card deck for the second card. So the first and second card that I pulled are 6th house. It is very clear what this reading will be about. So the first card, 6th house, and the keyword is sustainability. The second card is 6th house, and the keywords say, like the phrases, they say as a full-time job, serving, and do it a little at a time. And on the other side, service to others, what is good for us, and your work. And then the third card is ruby. It says passion, root, and sacral chakras. So when I pulled all these cards, well, especially when I pulled the 6th house back to back, I'm like, oh, come on. Also, I will say, for some of you, if you see the first card, 6th house, it says 44 or 44. I personally have been seeing that a lot lately, 44. So if that's something that resonates with you, an angel number 44 or just the number 4, maybe you should start paying more attention to that. That could be like a lucky number for you. But I digress. So, very clearly, if you pick this card, you're likely inquiring about work or career. I mean, very clearly. And so there's different messages I have for you, and you can take whichever resonates most with you. First, I want to say that Spirit really wants to let me know that some of you maybe are working right now, and you're scared of switching up your job or your work. Like, let's say either you couldn't afford to go to school, so you never went to school. If that's the case, this is indicating that you can still... Spirit still wants you to know that you can still do things that you're passionate about even without a college degree. Especially nowadays, I think people are realizing and recognizing that you can do other things. And I think the things you're passionate about, a lot of times maybe for you, the things you're passionate about that you want to do as a career, you don't actually need to go to school. Maybe it's something as simple as like taking, like I know for being a massage therapist, a lot of places if for the basic training can take anywhere from 4 to 12 months for like the basics, and if you do it all at once, some things don't even really cost money, and people will just train you, especially if they like your vibe and you're a hard worker. If you want to go back to school, this is indicating that if you're really passionate about a certain something that you want to do, if you work hard, you can be able to go to school and do that. For some of you, if you went to school, but you're realizing that what you went to school for, maybe you're still in school. So let's say you're still in school. What you're doing right now, even if you're close to graduating, let's say you don't enjoy it. Spirit is indicating that you need to do something that is sustainable. Doing something that is not going to fuel your passions, that you don't actually think you will enjoy, is not sustainable. Let's say you already graduated from college, and now, however much time later, you realize you don't enjoy what you're doing. Spirit is saying, even if you worked really hard on obtaining that degree, on doing all that work experience, if it is not something that is passionate for you, you should not be doing it. Now, granted, for some of you, what you're doing, like what you went to college for, makes you happy and you're passionate about it. But 6th house is also about work environment. So for some of you, you just need to switch up your work environment and work somewhere else, whether that is because you don't get along with your coworkers or the people above you, like managerial owner people. Or if that means you need to, maybe you're not happy in your city or in your state, in your country, and you want to move elsewhere. So this can also indicate reigniting that passion or fueling the fire of the passion so it burns more brightly and more intensely, and doing so can indicate a shift in location, whether it's building or like geographically, locationally, and that could reignite your passion. For some of you, again, I feel like I'm looking at both the first and second cards, and they both have like circles in them. And I'm just thinking a lot of you with 6th house, it's very Virgo energy. Some of you maybe also relate to Virgo. So if that resonates for you, but I just feel that some of you, I just keep seeing like a hamster on a wheel. Like I just keep seeing like things going in circle. I'm seeing like waiters and waitresses like going around. I believe that some of you are just working, and you're not realizing if you're happy or not, or maybe you don't even care about if you're happy about what you're doing or not, because you're in such a cycle, and it feels like you're in a state of there's fight, flight, freeze, and a lot of you are in freeze where you just keep going and going and going, and you don't really want to realize where you're at. You don't want to feel what you're feeling. So I think a lot of you need to get that's a good word, yeah. It's like you're stuck in the cycle. So to reignite your passions, again, whatever resonates with you with what I've already said, tap into that. So again, whether that's moving, going somewhere else, or completely switching up positions. I don't even think, for some of you, again, if money was an issue before, I don't think it will at least be as much of an issue now, or at least not very far into the future if you work on saving up money. For some of you too, for some of you who need to save up money to maybe go back to school, I see that you will need to, I guess, downgrade, you could say, and save up a lot more in terms of spending. Oh, I just remembered it says serving here too. A lot of you may be waiters and waitresses. This can also indicate maybe even needing to pick up part-time work or like side gigs to help fuel your passions. Oh my gosh, wait, I feel like there's so much I want to say right now. What was I just about to say before? Oh, so for those of you who feel that financials will be an issue, remember there's online stuff you can do, and there's, community colleges. You don't have to be grand about it. It's about getting the work done. For some of you, if money is more of an issue, you can downgrade and be able to, like, maybe you'll sell your car and you'll have to, for a little bit, be, I guess, quote-unquote miserable. I feel like some of you just aren't willing to make certain sacrifices as well. Like, you have to make certain sacrifices in order to make your passions come true and to be happy with where you're at in life. So for a brief period, you might be a little bit even unhappy, is what I'm sensing. It's like you need to work through it, though. You need to work through what makes you uncomfortable, or maybe for a bit sad. Maybe you won't have as much time for extracurricular activities or being around friends or family, but in the end it will be worth it because you will end up doing what makes you happy. So that is also something to consider. For some of you, again, area of life, focus on work. Some of you maybe are already there. And this is just a major confirmation that if you're already doing work that you are very happy and very passionate about, to continue doing that and to continue to find the ways that it makes you happy, that it makes you spark, that it makes you confident. And I see that for those of you who are already on that path of doing what you're doing and enjoying it, or like if you're in college and you're almost at that point, I see you being very helpful to other people, being somebody who, it's like not only doing things that make you passionate, but you inspire the passion in others, or you inspire others to be their very best. And I just see you being very helpful for people. If that resonates as well, 6th house jobs usually tie into very helpful jobs. So you could be, when I first pulled these cards, when I was thinking of types of careers, I was thinking of, 6th house is very much tied to the medical field. So you could be a doctor or a nurse, or you could be a veterinarian. You could work with small animals as well. That is also 6th house. You could be a naturopath. You could be somebody who is a holistic practitioner, or somebody who, works with herbs, any sort of medicine, whether naturopathic or traditional. Also, you could be a nutritionist. If you look at the second card here too, it has a bunch of food in a circle. So you could be a nutritionist. You could be somebody who harvests. Maybe it could be like a gardener. I don't know how people with that like make money, but you could like plant. Maybe you can even have a farm. Farming has ties to 6th house as well, so you could do something with agriculture. Anything that is helpful to other people as well, though. So you could be like a service worker or a teacher. Anything that is helpful to other people. I think, too, maybe you would feel more comfortable doing work where it's more one-on-one with people or within small groups. But don't be afraid to also do large group stuff if you feel drawn to that, but I feel like more intimate settings is where you would most thrive in, but still being helpful to other people and doing what makes you happy and passionate, whether it's a career for something that I listed or not. Okay, I'm going to read from the guidebook now, so let's go to Ruby in here. So it says, Ruby, passion, root, and sacral chakras. Ruby has appeared to get you thinking about what your passions are. What do you want in your life? Who do you want in your life? What or who brings you the most joy in your life? Ruby is associated with the root and sacral chakras. It is also linked to the physical body and life force energy. When you draw the ruby crystal, you are encouraged to open your heart to new possibilities. If you are currently partnered in a relationship, this is a great time for you to be clear about what you want and need in your relationship. This is also a great time for you to reignite the passion and fulfillment in your relationship area. If you are unhappy in your relationship, it is time to make changes to bring about greater happiness and fulfillment. If you are single, Ruby has come to you today to let you know that new love is coming to you. Be open to giving and receiving love. Your soul craves compassion, understanding, and love. Nurturing love can also come from family members and friends, not just from lovers. New love is wonderful, but enduring love is even more powerful. Appreciate your relationships and express and communicate your love at this time. And I think for most of you, this actually, the love part more so relates to coworkers and friends and colleagues, like people who are in the same or similar field to you as well, or mentors, people above you. Really connect with those people who have and share those same similar passions as you. There's a big emphasis on connecting with the people in your workspace. So I really should highlight that. I think all of what I said, though, is mainly what I have to say. I don't think there's anything else. Just really focus on your career and what makes you happy, what brings you joy. And what you're good at. With 6th house, it's like working hard, but also I feel like with Virgo, they're good at working hard, especially at the things that come naturally to them. And again, you're passionate about, so it feels like it's almost not even work, which can be hard if you have a lot of Virgo placements or a lot of 6th house placements, or if you're just like that in general, because I pulled 2 6th house cards. But you shouldn't feel as stressed. If it's something you're happy about, you're doing well, you're helping other people, and you're helping yourself in any way, then you're doing the right thing. So I will leave it at that. And I don't remember, I think Ruby is, I'm not good with familiarizing myself with the crystals and gemstones and tied to birth months. I know for me it's aquamarine and bloodstone because I'm a March Pisces, but also if you have Ruby as your birthstone, because I think that is a birthstone for like some month out there, then you can connect to that as well. But okay, I will leave it there. And I'll go on my spiel now. So if you'd like to, you can check out my website, Brittney'sHolisticHealing.com. I offer Reiki, Astrology, and Tarot services, amongst other services. And I also am on social medias. You can check me out across all social medias, except I'm not on Twitter or X. But it's pretty much at Brittney's Holistic Healing across everything. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can like and comment down below if this resonated with you in any way now or in the future. You can comment in back and be like, hey, I took your advice, or I listened to the pick a card reading and encouraged me. Any of that. And again, doing all the stuff from my YouTube channel really helps my channel and me out a lot. But I hope you enjoyed this pick a card reading for yourself. I love you, I appreciate you, and take care. Hello 3C, and welcome to your portion of the pick a card reading video. So for you, I feel that there's different messages coming in, and the messages are in a way more general than the other two stacks that I read from, but just hang in there with me, okay? So the first thing I want to say is that I think for many of you, you just are trying to manifest your best life. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, I feel a little flustered, which Neptune can do that. So I'm going to go through the cards now. So the first card I pulled is Neptune, and it says vision is the key word. The next card is in the 5th house. So it says the power of love, investment gambles, and other games. Your creations, and on the other side it says with the trust of a child, fun romance and making art, and do it dramatically. And then dioptase, which is connected to the heart chakra, and the keyword is direction. Okay. Oh, so what was I saying before? I think for a lot of you, you are just trying to manifest your best life right now. I wonder if many of you are just not happy. Okay, yes. I think some of you are not happy. I think some of you actually are have a pretty good life, but you're just so focused on the future as well. Yeah, let me dive more into that. Some of you who are focused so much on the future and aren't grounded in the present, that will be confusing for you. And Neptune is already confusing enough. So I think if you lack direction, that can alter your manifestations as well. So let's say you want to move somewhere. I think for a lot of you too, I wonder if a lot of you, part of your dream life that you want is moving. Okay, there's so much happening, and I feel like I cannot form complete sentences. I feel like a lot of you are all over the place. So because of this, make sure that you have clear intentions and clear manifestations. Some of you don't truly know what your intentions are or what they should be, or you have so much going on at once, you need to fine tune. Some of you get really lost in your manifestations and in your dreams that you have. So the area of life you should focus on for a lot of you is your manifestations and what you want for your dream life. I think you need to bring more logic into it and direction. That's what dioptase is saying, okay? Bring more direction. Still do, and it's still, again, it's connected to the heart chakra, so do what your heart desires, but make sure it's not just a fleeting thing. So what your heart truly desires will stay. But of course, our heart's desires can ebb and flow, but it shouldn't be something that is here one day and gone the very next. So bring more direction by planning more. I would write out a list of pros and cons, or I would write out what you're happy about with your life now, and what would make you happy in the future as well, and like connect those dots. Also, make sure that you're not just manifesting and not putting in the work. For some of you, you are not putting in the work. You're just kind of thinking, like, how do I say this? Some people believe that when you manifest, like I will just say this, people have a lot of different ideas about manifestations. Nobody thinks completely the same about manifestations, it feels like. If you are trying to manifest something, oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought again. Y'all, I feel like I'm really tapping into some of your energy. I mean, I'm a little, personally, I am very much a ditz, but I feel like there's just so much coming at me. I feel like there's a sense of urgency for a lot of you, too. Oh, interesting. So I wonder if a lot of you have such a sense of urgency about wanting things to happen. So it's like you don't give enough patience and time for things to settle, so then you just overdo it. Make sure, for me, I will say this, when you manifest, don't overdo it. You can visualize, you can do spell work, you can have these different things, you can have vision boards, but don't overdo it in terms of like saying to yourself 100 times a day, I need to say this out loud or else it won't happen. Some people believe in the set it and forget it method. Personally, I've been trying to practice more of that, because what I'm saying right now is to you as advice is something that I personally have struggled with as well, especially when I feel like there's a sense of urgency. But here's the thing, with manifestations, you have to be patient and you can't overdo it. Again, visualize, you can manifest, but don't overdo it. If you do wait, and also don't have, I guess I should say, just don't have way too many manifestations all at once. Like, oh, I'm gonna move here by this time. I'm gonna have this specific person in my life, and we're gonna have children by this specific time. It's gonna be one boy, one girl, and then one boy, and then I'm gonna retire by this specific age. Spirit wants for you to chill out. There is too much on the plate. I think they really want for you to fine-tune and do things bit by bit and piece by piece. Also, again, make sure that these are things that actually connect with you. Actually sit with yourself and really, really think about the things that make you happy, not just the things that will give you status, fame, success. People always say when they get rich, like, they end up being the least happy, and for some people, like, I grew up in not a great financial situation. So it's like a lot of my insecurities and my manifestations have to do with money personally. So I think a lot of you can connect with that and relate to that as well, as at least part of what you have as your dream life. A lot of people who don't grow up with much money will chase that. But just remember that if that's part of your manifestations, is having at least financial security, even if it's not financial abundance, just being financially secure, make sure it comes from a good place and that it doesn't come from a place of urgency, because that can mess with your manifestations and it won't have them flow about correctly. Spirit wants to work with you, but only if you're willing to work with them and if you're willing to work with yourself. So again, fine-tune, slow down. Think about the key pieces that are very important to you, and also think about the things that are achievable. Some of you are thinking of things that are not achievable, at least not right now or anytime near in the future. So you need to fine-tune and be more realistic, because there's just so much going on. I feel like my brain is like about to explode. You need to fine-tune. Get rid of the stuff that isn't important and necessary at this point in time. You can achieve different things in life, but it starts from not even having to start. I think for a lot of you should start small though, like for things that are more achievable. Like in this coming year, within the next, like, I would say 6 to 18 months, really focus on the things that are more achievable. And then maybe 1 or 2 things that are a lot further out. That, for a lot of you, I think will be very helpful, because achieving the further out things can be achieved by the things that we do day by day or in smaller time frames. That will help to rein in your energies and rein in the manifestations so that they can occur. And I know for some of you, like, I don't want you to think I'm like dissing you or being negative or rude, because trust me, when all of this I'm saying to you, it's like I'm preaching to the choir, aka myself. Like, I have dealt with this, especially when I first started getting into manifesting, and or like wanting a dream life. It's like wanting all of these, you can call it manifesting, you can call it just like wants and likes and hobbies, whatever. The things that I wanted to do and the things I wanted to achieve, when I first started myself manifesting and visualizing and all that, I was so obsessive about it. Obsessive. And so make sure you aren't obsessive about it. Make sure you go with the flow more. With Neptune too, sometimes people think Neptune can be obsessive, and sometimes people think Neptune is too, like, go with the flow to be obsessive and, like, kind of, like, all up in the clouds. So I feel like half of you are maybe upset. I don't even want to say. I think a lot of you who this resonates with, this part of the reading, you can be a little bit obsessive. And here's the thing. I think a lot of you too, the things you want, like 10 years from now, even if you have them, they won't be things that you actually truly want in the grand scheme of things. 5th house has ties and connections to Leo, and also connections to, and Neptune has connections to Pisces, by the way. But 5th house has connection to the arts, and it also has connections to indulgences. So I think and also right here, I'm looking to it, says the power of love. If you're trying to manifest, indirection, heart chakra, all this. If you're trying to manifest love into your life too, make sure it's not so hyper specific. Like, I always say, don't manifest a specific person. Like, in terms of, like, oh yeah, Harry Styles, me and him are gonna get married in 10 years. Like, don't do that. Manifest somebody who's good for you. That's always what, like, witches say. It's like, manifest people, visualize anybody who is just good for you, who is best for you. Also with indulgences, make sure if you want your dreams and manifestations to come true that you're saving up money, because a lot of you are not good with your money. Okay. A lot of you too can tap into your manifestations more easily if you it might sound weird, but if you dress according to, like, the days of the week. Some people go based off of the moon and the moon cycle. So if the moon is in Aquarius for a couple days, people will dress based off of the colors and the patterns of Aquarius, like, as an example. Or this can also indicate, again, maybe some of you are manifesting, but you're maybe manifesting in ways that aren't as helpful for you. So a lot of you, like, vision boards, visualization parts of it will be better than and with Neptune too. Oh yeah, it says vision. A lot of you, I think it's more about the simple visualizations more so than the words and saying things out loud and doing all these spells, and that can be helpful. But if you want to fine tune it more so to the visualizations. And also, I think, again, when I'm saying doing things in manifesting, starting to manifest in smaller time frames, and then seeing those results happen right before your eyes. That, I forgot what I was going to say again. But visualizing and see, like, actually, like, physically also seeing with your eyes things happen, that will help fuel you, and that will also help you with, right here, dioptase, with the direction of where you're headed. And if something feels right, maybe a manifestation happens, it doesn't feel correct in your heart, then you know to steer and go in a different direction. Also, it says on the 5th house, with the trust of a child, I would think about if you have children, think about what's in the best interest for them. But for a lot of you, think about what's in the best interest for your inner child. And I think for a lot of you, think about what you've always wanted since you were a young child and tap into that, but make it so your inner child is working alongside your inner adult, and your inner adult can make those things a reality and make them tangible. Okay, but you have to actually put in the work. You can't just be lazy about it. So I wasn't planning on going that long into that whole spiel, but for other parts of this reading, I will say a lot of you, aside from the messages I just said, a lot of you are very creative, and a lot of you maybe are feeling a pull toward doing something more creative. And that doesn't even have to be, I think for a lot of you it does involve career, but for some of you it will just be like a side gig or a hobby. It doesn't even have to be anything that makes you money, but for a lot of you I think it does involve making this more of a career. So this is a good indication that it is a good time to start thinking about moving into that, tapping into your potential. Let's say you want to take up being a photographer, but what you're doing right now, you're like an engineer, and you're like, oh, this is so good and stable, and it's good for my 401k. I can set up money. I know how to be creative, but I don't know how to do the business side of things. You can always ask other people for help, of course. You can always get legal advice, professional advice, and have people working for you or working alongside people. There's other people in the industry, let's say of photography, that could help you as well, hopefully. Or you can take classes and, for starting a business or for photography. I just know that if you are wanting to do something more creative with your life and with your time, especially for full time, you should be able to tap into that pretty easily. And as long as you not only manifest, but as you know, with 15 Dioptes saying direction, as long as you know that what you want to do is of pure intentions, it will work out great. Doing those, again, this is for entertainment purposes only, but doing that creative endeavor, I see being very fulfilling for you, and I think it will be very good for your soul's evolution as well. I see it being very good. Something very fulfilling for you and making you happier than where you are now. Even if you are happy with where you are now, if you've been thinking about doing something more creative, even starting it off as a side gig, again, you could realize how important and crucial this is for your life, and maybe even turn it full-time. And this is a good idea if you are thinking of doing something part-time or full-time, maybe being self-employed or just doing something creative or artistic. Then I would tap into that, and I would do that. It's good, and a good indication to do that. I'm going to go into the guidebook now. So it says, Dioptes, direction, heart chakra. Are you feeling stuck in a rut, not sure which way you should turn? Do you need some help with deciding which direction you should take? Dioptes is here today to help you weigh up your options and choose a direction to follow. The energy of this stone will help you to become clearer about what you do want to achieve. You may feel like you've been wasting time wandering aimlessly about of late. That time of confusion and stagnation is now over and it is making way for a period of great focus and achievement. If you already know what direction you want to take this as a sign that you are on the right path. Just stay true to what you want. Don't worry about what other people think. Focus solely on what it is that you are doing. When you remain positive, strong, and driven, more abundance and opportunities will come your way. Trust in the universe as you follow your dreams. Release your need to control the outcomes. Exactly. Dioptes is associated with the heart chakra. It facilitates work on your inner child and relationships and helps to heal your heart so you can make true progress. I mean, literally, I was also just talking about inner child and all that too. Everything that said covers what I was saying with the messages, so I will just leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this video. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It helps out a lot. Also, if you like and comment down below, you can say if this resonates with you, or you can come back sometime in the future if you took any advice or messages to heart and say if that helped you in any way. Also, you can check out my website, BrittneySholisticHealing.com. I offer astrology, Reiki, and tarot services, amongst other services. You can check me out on all of the social media platforms. At Brittney Holistic Healing is what it is on everything, pretty much. I don't have Twitter or X, though. But again, thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you and take care. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this video. If you liked the content, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and comment down below, as it really helps my channel out a lot. You can follow me on my socials listed here on the screen, and you can also check out my website, Brittney'sHolisticHealing.com, which is also listed below. Through my website, I offer Reiki, astrology, tarot, and other services. Thank you, and blessed be.